Welcome to Boots in Baltimore. I'm LeeAnn Blanchard. I'm sitting here with Martha Rogers, creative director and founder of Full Moon Acupuncture and Apothecary. So, how did you get started in Chinese medicine?
I would say 1997, 1998, I was living in New York. I was super stressed out, like incredible anxiety, and I first found meditation and more generally Asian, I would say an Eastern philosophy, Asian approach to wellness. And that little by little carried me to becoming a yoga practitioner, and then I found my way to acupuncture as a recipient in 2004. And then I started school in 2005.
So, how does acupuncture work?
This is the $10,000 question. So the way I understand it and hold it is that we, human beings, and actually all animate beings, are made up of subtle matter. Subtle energy, chi, prana in the yoga tradition. And when that subtle energy is interrupted, the flow of that subtle energy is interrupted, whether it's through physical trauma, whether it's from emotional trauma, it creates a blockage. And so when there is a blockage in our chi, over time, that blockage will create dis-ease or disharmony in our body-mind. So how does it work? There are 12 primary meridians. When someone comes to see me, I do an intake. I want to know from them what they want help with. And then my diagnostic tool is listening to pulses, the radial pulses, as well as looking at their tongue, doing some brief palpation on the torso. So through all of that information, I come to understand how to support them. And then I would pick acupuncture points that would help to do whatever the overarching treatment principle is.
Okay.
So really it's about helping with the pin to remind the person of their own innate capacity for healing. And that's how I hold it. I believe that human beings are just so immensely intelligent, and we are designed for well-being. And sometimes we need a reset. Sometimes we need to be reminded of something we've forgotten.
So the pin is almost like a focus point for the body to focus energy there in order to restore the flow?
Yes, so that is one way to say it. Like, let's say, for instance, somebody comes in and there's something going on digestively, let's just say, physically digestively, or it's manifesting in a physical, it's manifesting physically in terms of digestive disruption. And so I might be doing points on the stomach channel. I might be doing points on the spleen pancreas channel to help restore harmony to that part of their body-mind. It's not a simple answer, and it's also a simple answer. So it's about creating flow, but then from there it can become so nuanced.
So you mentioned digestive issues. What other types of ailments could acupuncture help with?
One of my teachers would say it's medicine for life, and it's really anything that we as human beings experience. So that can be physical maladies, headaches, digestive issues, knee pain, back pain, and then also what's happening with us emotionally. Like, it really works very beautifully with helping to regulate anxiety, stress responses in the body, insomnia. It really spans the gamut of anything that might befall us as human beings. And there is a saying from one of the scholars, the ancient scholars of Chinese medicine, that really the highest level of the medicine is to treat at the level of someone's spirit. Because when someone's spirit is functioning brightly, then the physical sort of falls into place.
Well, that's really interesting, because I didn't realize how comprehensive it was. I always associate acupuncture with pain relief, migraines, neck pain, that kind of thing. So that's fascinating.
And that's a very modern way of approaching treatment. And certainly if someone is in pain, I want to take that and help them.
Right.
And I also want to understand, like, what is the underlying cause? Like, how do we get to the root of what's happening?
And fix it.
Fix
it can be.
Fix it is an interesting, yes, but we won't go off
Heal
on that.
It.
Yeah, yes.
Heal it.
Heal it. heal it for sure, and help to wake up that person's consciousness so that they are able to make better choices for themselves.
Okay. So this isn't a clinical setting. This is not the doctor's office.
No, it's not the doctor's office. No, it's definitely not the doctor's office.
It's definitely kind of a holistic experience. So what is it like for a client coming in? Or a patient? You call them patients?
I go back and forth, but when a new patient comes in, we usually spend about 25 minutes talking, and I want to get social history, health history, find out a little bit about their family of origin, and then really hear both what's going well for them as well as where do they want support.
Okay, very interesting. So what is seasonal renewal?
So seasonal renewal is a program, a curriculum that I developed. So let me just tie it back to Chinese medicine. So Chinese medicine is an ancient nature-based medicine. And really I would say one of the underpinnings is that when we are living in harmony with the seasons, with the cycles of nature, that is when we are, I'll say, given the gifts of wellness, fulfillment, longevity. When we go counter to the cycles of nature, that is when disease, disharmony arises. So what is renewal? Renewal is a 28-day program really designed to help people rediscover what it means to nourish themselves deeply. And that's on all the levels. So I talk a lot about seasonal nourishment in terms of physical food, but maybe more exciting to me is helping people remember that word nourishment means like, how do I take care of my emotions? How do I take care of my spirit in any given season of life?
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I find this fascinating because I think even if you're not a particularly spiritual person, there is a seasonality to your work, or there is a seasonality to your life, like kids going back to school, or the new year coming up, or there's a season of celebration, there's a season of kind of digging into work. Mm-hmm. And so I think people intuitively, I think they experience that, but they don't consciously recognize that.
I would say that is completely and totally spot on, that human beings are cyclical creatures, and we're really governed by primal rhythms, and we know these things, like it's in our DNA, but we might not always be conscious of it. So it's really bringing a level of consciousness, or helping people remember that it's already there.
Yeah, I remember I listened to a podcast recently where they were talking about the cyclical nature of things, and just recognizing that it's cyclical can help you time your decisions better. Like, I am in a cycle of creativity, and I'm going to have ideas just bouncing off of the walls. And this is my time to brainstorm, but this is not my time to necessarily start the projects.
Yes, right.
Or dig into work, or be forced to dig into work. Like this is my period for deep work, and this is my period for light tasks. Even just on a daily cycle of, I function better on the deeper thinking in the afternoon or in the morning, or one of those things. Oh, so interesting.
It's so good, because I could tell you so many things. So in Chinese medicine, there's something called the Chinese clock. I won't go into it, but everything you're saying is so true and deeply resonant with me and the work, right? And it's really about understanding ourselves, and when do we experience those optimal moments in order to tap into them for more creativity and flow.
And fulfillment. Exactly. So what is Moon School then?
Moon School is everything you just said. It's similar to renewal in that it is about a conscious journey through the seasons, but looking more towards the moon and the lunar cycles, and how do we align with those energies for the sake of more creativity, more all of it, right? Like everything is a cycle. Like the day is a cycle, the year is a cycle. So we have winter, which is our season to rest, right? And then after dormancy comes this burst of creativity. And then after that comes like a full flowering in summer. And then we have the harvest and the letting go in autumn. So that happens to us every day, every year, and within every moon cycle. So Moon School is a very intentional gathering. It's again an online curriculum to deepen our relationship with our own rhythms and also with the sacred rhythms of the moon, the lunar cycle, as well as deepen our connection with others who might be in the course.
Interesting. So interesting. So this is acupuncture and apothecary. So what do you offer on the apothecary side?
So the apothecary side is, I do have dried herbs here, so loose herbs. I am not an herbalist. I am still learning. The previous steward of the space had the space for 8 years, Jenny Earhart, and her shop was called Sensations. So I do sell her medicine, really beautiful medicine. She grows the herbs, she creates the tinctures and the salves. And then I also have another local herbalist products here, Caitlin Jarkovic of Hey Thanks Herbal Company, also just making such beautiful, beautiful medicine, growing it locally, hand harvesting it and creating it. So things from, again, tinctures that help with anxiety, stress, insomnia, to topical salves to help with bruising or cuts or scrapes, immunity boosting tinctures and herbs. Beverages, yeah. So teas, tinctures, I have to look at the shelf to remind myself. And it's also, we might be coming to that, but this is also very much a creative space. So it's also a gallery. So some of the things on the shelves are by local makers and artists as well.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. So how do you find the artists that you want to feature, or what's the process there?
I feel very fortunate. I've been in Baltimore for about 15 years, and I just have a lot of really good connections with incredibly creative people. So thus far, I felt like in a way they've come to me. The studio, or the gallery rather, is booked till the end of 24, but I am taking submissions for 2025. So it's all a learning process for me. So I've never had a gallery space before. I do consider myself a creative and very much an advocate for other people expressing their creativity.
Cool. Yeah. So why Hampden? Why did you pick this space?
I mean, I would have to say that it sort of in a way chose me. So I had been practicing on the Avenue for 13 years. I went to school at Loyola, so like this whole area, I mean,
This is your hood.
Yeah, it's obviously many, many years ago that I was in college, but I lived in Roland Park after I graduated. There's a familiarity. I love I'll say, eccentricity of some of the shops on the Avenue. I think it has a beautiful vibrance and acceptance in the neighborhood, a lot of diversity. So all of that speaks to me deeply. Yeah.
Well, I think you made an excellent choice. Obviously, I love Hampden too. So how can people find out more and or book a session with you?
Fullmoonacupuncture.com. So you can go to the website, you'll see a place to schedule. You'll also see tabs for whether it's Moon School or renewal. The apothecary is on there also. Instagram, I am at Full Moon Acupuncture, so you can find me there. And please sign up for the newsletter, because this space also has a lot of very cool classes. That's part of my vision, to have it be an intentional gathering space. So Alex Hewitt will be teaching a 4-week writing course on tending grief. So again, very special, soulful, yet fun ways to come together.
Yeah, so new stuff that you haven't even thought of yet, and the newsletter is the only way to get it.
Yes, exactly. That's how you'll be tuned in.
Great. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes. This is Boots in Baltimore, LeeAnn Blanchard. Come check out Full Moon Acupuncture and Apothecary. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff, and a beautiful space, a beautiful feeling here because of you.
Thank you.